What's going on, everybody? This is Sid Wolf 4, and today I'm hitting you guys with the top 10 best draw support Pokemon. These are going to be the Pokemon that let you draw cards through their abilities or Poke Powers. This is limited to drawing cards specifically, not searching cards. Otherwise, this list would have been much different. We're going to take into consideration their form, meaning is it a basic Pokemon stage 1, stage 2, how many cards they can let you draw. And normally I write a script for a video like this, but this is pretty casual, just the best draw support Pokemon in my opinion. So we're going to straight up start with a Pokemon that actually hasn't been released in English yet. Oricorio from Alter Genesis. I think it's Alter Genesis or Dream League. So this Pokemon essentially lets you draw 3 cards every turn if your opponent has taken a knockout on the previous turn. So I'm pretty sure this card is going to see some good play when it comes out because the ability is really strong. It is just a basic Pokemon. The reason is at the bottom of this list is that you can't play it, you can't activate this ability immediately. Since your opponent needs to take a knockout for you to activate this effect, it means you can't use it on your opening turn. More than likely, you won't be able to use it on your second turn, like after your opponent has played. So it's kind of a mid-game, late-game card, perhaps. Your opponent can play around it. So, it's a bit annoying. That's why it loses a lot of points. Normally, the benefit of basic Pokemon is that they've got the speed going for them. You can immediately get their drawing ability off, like the next guy. But, Oricorio should still be pretty good, and number 10, it's good enough for it. So the next Pokemon is going to be the Uranguru from Sun and Moon. Now, this guy actually, its ability Instruct originally came on a Porygon 2 card from the Aquapolis set. It's the effect that if you got less than 3 cards in your hand, draw until you have 3. So Porygon 2 was a stage 1, Uranguru is a basic Pokemon, so I think it's fair to say this guy's better. And this card has seen a lot of play in many decks. It's easy to splash in. It's just a basic Pokemon. It can help you out in many situations against cards like N, against even bitch-made cards like Red Card and the damn Marshadow. If you don't have much going on, like you ran out of hand and you're top deck, and if you top deck this guy and you can use abilities, he's essentially going to let you draw 3 cards. So he's pretty good. Now, of course, limitation is a bit difficult. You need to have a very low hand size, which is why, he's not the most consistent, the most quality drawer, but it's still pretty useful. Got to keep in mind, he's a basic Pokemon. So number 9, gonna go with Uranguru. Very nice card. Next up, we're gonna go to Stormfront with our Dusknoir right here with Shadow Command. So this Pokemon is a stage 2, but its Poke Power essentially lets you draw 2 cards every turn. Now, you don't have any limitation like the hand limit, well, a low hand limit with Uranguru, but if you have 7 or more cards, you gotta discard until you have 6. So you can't have too much of a big hand, but it's a pretty easy limitation. I mean, having 6 cards, I think it's 6 to 7 cards. I would have to read the card. It's pretty okay. I mean, you gotta put 2 damage counters on it, but that is basically synergy for his damage even attack. They combo out well. So it might not seem too much, but believe me, this card was pretty good when it was released in Stormfront back in the DP days. Stage 2 Pokemon were the way to go. Just drawing 2 cards, no cost, you don't have to discard anything. It's pretty damn good. So good consistent drawing, not really any major drawbacks, easy conditions to work around with. Pretty good Dusknoir. Next up at number 7, I believe. No, number 6 actually. Is going to be Delcatty from the original EX Ruby and Sapphire set. So this is where the quality drawing starts to come around, I would say. So Delcatty, essentially, it's a stage 1, so it's in that sweet spot, not too difficult to bring out, but not even a basic, so you get some extra you get some better drawing. Normally, the best drawing is reserved for stage 1 Pokemon. This card lets you discard an energy and then draw 3 cards. Pretty good. There's no hand size limit, condition. You can discard any energy, and plenty of other cards got printed. Well, not plenty, but we had Ninetales, we had Salazzle now. where you have to discard a fire energy to draw 3. I'm not sure if there's any other card like this that work with any type, but this lets you discard any energy, so it's extremely flexible. And for the decks that really benefited from this sort of effect, there's a lot of decks it could help, Delcatty. You know, every deck has energies. Many decks want to dump energies, or they can sacrifice a few energies. So, it's pretty easy to just discard 1 and draw 3 cards. Very good Poké Power indeed, Delcatty. It deserves its spot at number 6. So, okay, so now we're going to go to the sort of exception to the rule I've stated. For number 5, I'm going to go with the Gardevoir from Secret Wonders, the all-famous Telepass Gardevoir. So technically this card's Poké Power doesn't let you draw cards. You could get a lot of different effects with this Poké Power, but one of those is drawing cards, depending on what you copy. And you don't have to discard anything, you don't have to sacrifice a supporter or anything, which is why, the Porygon 2 from Great Encounters, I didn't consider that, I didn't factor that in this list because its effect is kind of a bit too specific. But Gardevoir, I decided to make the exception because you don't have to sacrifice anything. I mean, use Telepass. If your opponent has a supporter in their discard pile that lets you draw cards, you can essentially copy that effect. So flexible, so powerful. I mean, like I've said, this could be a lot more than just drawing cards, copying a supporter that lets you draw cards, but it can be a pretty strong draw power too. I mean, Poké Power that lets you draw cards. So in the middle, Gardevoir, always such an amazing Pokemon. One of the best cards ever printed. Just copy any supporter that lets you draw cards. Copy something like Professor Oak's New Theory. Copy something like, I don't know, like Professor Oak's Visit. Copy, what was it called, Felicity's Drawing. Just so many good drawing supporters you can copy from the DP era. So very good. Stage 2, but such a ferocious, powerful Poké Power. Alright. Okay, now we're getting into the real top dogs here. I believe this should be number 6 or number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think, yeah, it's number 5 actually. So number 5 is going to be this new card, Dedenne GX from Unbroken Bonds. So this card is pretty damn good. It's a basic Pokemon, so you're only going to get the effect once you play it down. That's how it goes, but it's extreme draw power. You discard your hand and then you draw straight 6 cards from your deck. It's pretty damn good. I mean, you gotta discard cards, but the clever player is gonna try and play this and minimize as few resources as possible. And sometimes you can use this and you want to dump every card in your hand anyway. So it's pretty good. Now, the limitation is that you can only get this effect once per turn, which is actually pretty fair. If they didn't do this, this card would be extremely damn broken. But it is a basic Pokemon. You're only going to get the effect once. It's quality draw. But sometimes, you don't want to discard. And there's a bit of risk going on with this being a small GX Pokemon. People can pull it. They can target it. But it's very good. And the only reason it's at number 5 is because everybody else above it is just too damn good. Even better than Dedenne GX. So at number 5, Dedenne GX. Excellent drawing card as a basic. So at number 4, it's going to be the fucking dinosaur metagame king that was Zoroark GX. So his draw ability, I'm sure everybody knows it that's played TCG recently, in recent years. Trade, discard a card, draw 2 cards. Now this ability originally got printed in an Empoleon from Dark Explorers. Stage 2, same thing, discard a card, draw 2 cards. And this card was also very good back in its own day. Even though it was a stage 2, it was one of the only stage 2s that could actually put up a fight in a format where every other stage 2 was pretty much unplayable. So, yeah, but this one is a stage 2, Zoroark is a stage 1, so it's obvious which one has the biggest benefit. It's easier to splash in a stage 1 line in a deck. It's easier to get him out. You don't have to worry about rare candies. It's Zoroark GX. And Swampert from Celestial Storm also has this effect, letting you draw 3 cards. Discard 1, draw 3. But once again, even though you draw a little bit more, I think Zoroark takes the cake because it's a stage 1, the easiest to get out. But it's pretty good. You draw 2 cards, you gotta discard one, but I mean, there's no hand limit condition. There's no, you can only use this effect once. If you have multiple Zoroarks, you can use all of them. It's great, easily splashable in decks. The discarding can also combo you with other strategies. Sometimes you want to discard and draw. It's pretty good. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. Zoroark, I mean, because of that ability, he has been king for so long until it got rotated out pretty much. It gives you that super easy consistency. Nothing else to say about that. Building up your hand. Excellent card. And now for the real cream of the crop. At number 3, we're going to go with Uxie from Legends Awakened. One of the best ones, 100%. So this guy is the original Shaymin EX for anybody that doesn't know. With setup, you play this guy down, draw until you have 7. So it's a basic Pokemon. It's really easy to use, really easy to put in decks, really fast. You can do this as turn 1. I mean, you're only going to get the effect once, but it's just so strong. Drawing until you have 7. I mean, even if you have 4 cards in hand and you play this down, you're going to draw 3 for free. It's just too good. And, of course, the smaller hand you have, the more cards you're going to draw. I don't want to go too much for the attacks. I didn't want to consider the attacks on the Pokemon, but I guess it's fair to mention that this guy can also put himself in the deck too. Kind of like Shaymin puts himself in the hand. So you can reuse this effect too if you started with this guy or something. He's just a very good Pokemon, a very dominant Pokemon. Let alone his level X also let you draw cards, so I guess that can also be a little benefit. But Uxie, it's pretty much the best. Like I've said, Shaymin is sort of a got its ability reprinted in a way, but drawn to have 6. This guy is the original. This guy is definitely stronger. Maybe not as dominant because of the way the format is. I would say maybe Shaymin was much more popular than this guy, but it's debatable. Uxie, excellent. Definitely deserves its spot at number 3. In my opinion, it's the best draw support Pokemon that's just a basic. It's better than Dedenne in my opinion. Just drawing until you have 7. It's a lot more flexible than just discarding your hand and drawing 6. This guy is just a basic with 70 HP. It was as good as you could get back then, to be honest, for basic Pokemon in DP. You know, very little danger, just gave 1 prize. Excellent Pokemon. Nothing bad to say about it, really. Okay, now for number 2, we're going to go with a Pokemon that probably nobody knows except for me, unless you're an OG. Porygon 2 from EX Delta Species. A card that I really like, and a card that's pretty forgettable. So this Pokemon's Pokepower, backup, essentially lets you draw cards until you have 6. So if you have less cards in your hand than 6, you can draw until you have 6. Many cards got printed since then copying this Pokemon's ability, like the Magnezone Prime, draw until you have 6, but that one is a stage 2. It was, I believe, Octillery, draw until you have 5. We're going to get, what's it called? Not Type Null, but Silvally. Silvally GX is going to come out. It's in Japan already. That lets you draw until you have 5, but this guy's draw until you have 6. Then there's the Delphox 2 that kind of had that ability. So many cards got printed copying this guy's ability, but this guy is the original and he has the strongest. He's a stage 1, letting you draw until you have 6. Octillery lets you draw until you have 5. That card, of course, was very good while it was in the format, but Porygon 2 is the best. Draw until you have 6. Excellent card, just a stage 1, easy to get out, flexible. It doesn't even say you can only get this effect once, so if you got multiple of these out, you can draw cards, play cards, and draw cards again. It's pretty freaking good. So Porygon 2, it is the second best draw and support Pokemon, I would say, from what we've seen so far anyway. Excellent card. Just excellent, man. Alright. And the last one, I think this one is kind of obvious, is the most famous one. It's going to be the Claydol from Great Encounters with Cosmic Power. So this guy essentially does almost the same thing as Porygon 2, and I guess you could say Octillery, Magnezone Prime, all those other guys, but he gives you a small extra edge. It lets you draw until you have 6 cards, but you gotta take 1 or 2 cards from your hand first and put them at the bottom of the deck, then you draw. So you gotta put at least one, you can't just draw straight 6, but it gives you this opportunity to regulate your hand more efficiently. So get rid of 1 or 2 cards that you don't need and then draw. Is an excellent card. Also a stage 1. It was pretty much the main form of draw power in the DP era. You know, such an excellent ability to draw Pokemon, giving you that edge, that flexibility of putting cards at the bottom of the deck, cards that you don't need. Maybe you could even make some combos since you specifically put the cards in the bottom. Just draw until you have 6. You can use this 2 times if you got 2 of these guys down. No real other limitations besides draw until you have 6. Excellent support Pokemon. I don't think there's any better draw support Pokemon than this. I mean, if you consider Uxie, just lets you draw until you have 7. It's just a basic. This is just 1 less card, draw until you have 6. But then once you get this guy out, you can use this every turn. I mean, it's just the best. I can't think of anything else. It's also the reason why I put Porygon 2 at number 2. You know, these guys are just a stage 1, and every turn you can draw until you have 6. So this is basically the list, guys. I don't think I forgot anything. I did some research. I did spend quite some time actually making sure that I didn't miss anything. But I would say these are the best cards from what we've seen so far, at least what I know of so far. There was a few other cards like Porygon 2 from Great Encounters, but that card, to be honest, I didn't factor it in because its abilities, it lets you play like 2 supporters in a way. It's not necessarily drawing. Same for the, I think is the Plasma Magnezone. Yeah, that lets you play 2 supporters kind of thing. So these are the best cards. I hope you guys enjoyed this little casual list. Best drawn Pokemon. And hopefully we see some good stuff coming. Even more good cards that let you draw cards. Yeah. Cerebro594, thank you guys for watching. Like I've said, I hope I didn't forget anything, but you never know. These are definitely the cream of the crop, though, I would say. So, once again, Cerebro594. What say? Yeah.